The movie is set in the year 2074. Pinwheel Robotics create a cyborg designed to appear convincingly human. Pinwheel Corporation sends a near-human cyborg on a savage mission to a rival company. However, the cyborg turns rogue when she falls in love with a martial arts master. Cash, an exceptional female cyborg prototype, captures our attention next. She lies motionless in a glass chamber, her skin synthetic and her eyes closed. Martin Dunn, the CEO of Pinwheel, oversees the activation of Cash. He informs his team that Cash is unique because she contains a powerful liquid explosive called Glass Shadow. He also tells his team that this experiment could represent a major advance for the company if it succeeds. The board members give Dr. Dunn applause. The scene transitions to Cash, the prototype in focus. Cash practices karate with her instructor, Colton Ricks, while other prototypes watch. She demonstrates greater skill than Colton, overpowering him in their spar. After pinning him to the ground, she expresses concern about her missing roommate, asking where they might have taken her. Colton insists he knows nothing about it. That night, as Colton walks down the hallway, he spots Dr. Dunn escorting Cash in someplace. He confronts Dr. Dunn about Cash's destination, but the doctor dismissively states it's none of Colton's business. Colton shrugs off the doctor's rudeness and continues on his way. The scene transitions to a later moment with Cash found lying on her bed, accompanied by an audio message from a man named Mercy. He makes an appearance on the screen, intentionally revealing just a specific part of his face. He informs her that among all the prototypes, she stands out as the most unique and has come the closest to achieving interaction with a human being. He recommends that she should seek out a human lover, a suggestion that visibly delights and excites Cash. Soon after, Cash runs into Colton. Clearly, she considers Colton as her human lover and hands him a pack of matches as a gift, which he gladly accepts. He then heads to this room where Mercy appears on the screen. Surprised by Mercy's sudden presence, he questions who Mercy is. Nevertheless, Mercy dismisses his question and inquires about the matches Cash gave him. Sensing something amiss, Mercy vanishes from the screen, leaving Colton intrigued. Later, he opens the pack of matches to discover an insect and a message inside. Later, Colton is awakened by Mercy to remind him of his meeting with Cash. Colton dresses himself and sneaks through the building to reach. He finally finds her, and she shows him around. Suddenly, Mercy appears on the screen, and Colton asks if she knows him. Cash says he talks to her at night, and suddenly, they hear the guards coming. Mercy tells them to leave as he will keep an eye on. The pair then explore a section where Pinwheel keeps deceased prototypes frozen. Here, Cash finds her roommate, who is nearly dead. She tells her that they plan to kill her and that Cash is next. Meanwhile, Mercy appears on a screen and warns Cash of impending danger. Pinwheel plans to employ her as a suicide bomber to eliminate the Kobayashi board of directors. He also reveals a liquid crystal blast inside her body, waiting for activation. The revelation terrifies Cash, and Mercy informs them they have about 5 seconds to flee the imminent danger. A siren activates, signaling Cash's disappearance. Cash and Colton commence their escape, pursued by Pinwheel's forces. They maneuver through underground pipes but encounter several armed men. Cash, utilizing her extensive training, combats and overpowers them. Colton watches, impressed by her capabilities, and they successfully evade capture. Upon reaching and entering an elevator, they get stuck midway and are stalked by armed men. They fire at them, and Colton receives slightly shot in the process. Cash tries to stay calm and looks for a way out of the elevator. The two climb down using the elevator ropes. Meanwhile, a firefight breaks out between the Pinwheel armed men and a woman who seems to be chasing them too. The scene then shifts to Cash and Colton, who have managed to reach the outside. They run across the roof and jump the fence. Cash inquires if Colton is familiar with the city, to which Colton responds that it has been some time. Shortly after, Mercy appears on the screen to communicate with them, but Cash starts to choke and glitch unexpectedly. She informs Colton that she has been activated and begins to behave erratically. Mercy reveals to Colton that a tracking device is causing Cash's abnormal behavior. Pinwheel aims to keep the glass shadow inside her a secret. Mercy advises Colton to acquire a vehicle and stay concealed for at least 9 hours. Meanwhile, Dr. Dunn is panicking over Cash's disappearance at the Pinwheel Institution. Upon entering his office, he encounters Chen, a woman pursuing Cash and Colton. Chen is also a prototype but represents a more advanced version. She is on a mission to reprogram Cash for her objectives. Dr. Dunn instructs her not to concern herself with Pinwheel, but to focus on the mission to eliminate Colton and seize control over Cash. Dunn then meets with the board and announces that Cash is the first cyborg to escape using human reasoning. However, the board dismissed his claim and held him responsible if the Glass Shadow project failed. The doctor then suggests hiring a man familiar with cyborgs to capture Cash and Colton. He mentions a man named Master Daniel Bench. The scene then shifts to Master Daniel, who is seen caring for his prosthetic face. He receives a call from the doctor and agrees that they will pay him when he hears the amount of money. The scene then cuts to the city where Cash and Colton arrive in their vehicle. Cash decides to venture out alone to prevent the capture of herself and others. She approaches a fortune teller to learn about her lifespan. However, the fortune teller and their partner identify Cash as a cyborg and attack her. Cash retaliates and manages to escape. On the street, Daniel confronts Colton, demanding to know Cash's location. Colton's refusal to divulge her whereabouts leads Daniel to take him hostage. A confrontation between Daniel and another man ensues, culminating in Daniel killing the man. The scene then cuts to Cash looking for Colton, but she is stalked by Chen, a cyborg woman who wants to alter her. The woman manages to hang Cash from the building, and Cash struggles to breathe. Chen hurts Cash, throwing her from one building to another. Elsewhere, Daniel holds Colton hostage, cuffing him securely. A man who resorts to drugs and harbors an eerie obsession with his skin, Daniel demands to know Cash's location. Daniel administers a chemical injection into his eyes when Colton admits his ignorance. Colton inquires about the substance's effects. Daniel reveals it's a third eye opener designed to extend vision beyond reality. He explains that the crystal-based liquid will gradually infiltrate Colton's corpus callosum, making him desperate. Now, in agony, Colton feels his energy ebbing away. The scene changes to Cash, where she is lying down, unconscious and being operated on by Chen. An order from Chen awakens her, and Cash is now being reprogrammed. Chen tells her an explosive inside of her is waiting to be activated, and she even starts it for a few seconds. But Cash begs her, saying she would do anything to make it stop, and Chen disarms the crystal explosives and lets her loose. The story shifts back to Daniel and Colt. Daniel appears to be sleeping, but Colt takes this chance to unlock his cuffs with the keys and plans to locate Cash. However, Daniel is not truly asleep. He's just pretending, waiting for Colt to lead him directly to Cash. Meanwhile, Cash visited the museum, captivated by the exhibits, when Colt suddenly appeared. She rushes to embrace him. They start discussing, and Colt unveils the world's harsh realities to her. Cash is shocked by the potential for human cruelty, yet Colt comforts her, highlighting the world's inherent goodness. Their conversation, filled with comfort, slowly turns into a passionate kiss. However, their intimate moment gets interrupted when Chen attempts to kill Colt. Daniel arrives just in time, initiating a fight with Chen. It becomes clear that they have a history of conflict. Chen fires at a mirror, sending shards flying, which damage Daniel's prosthetic face, injuring him. Colt and Cash seize the opportunity to escape, and Chen chases after them. Cash engages Chen in combat while Daniel, consumed by rage, shoots his weapon without aim. Colt aids Cash in the battle against Chen. Cash successfully electrocutes and kills Chen, allowing the duo to flee before Daniel can catch up to them. They enter an underground tunnel and come across a man. Cash informs him that Mercy sent them, and the man grants them access. The place seems deserted, but in reality, it's a community organized by Mercy. Mercy communicates with them via a screen, sharing that their escape plan involves renting a boat to Mombasa. However, Colt expresses hesitance and is worried about the legal consequences. In a different location, Daniel drives recklessly, having lost complete control and consumed numerous drugs. He boasts to kill Colt and Cash, blaming them for his disfigured face. Meanwhile, a doctor treats Colt, removing a poisonous crystal from his eye. That night, Mercy discusses love with Colt, leading him to make love to Cash, culminating in a night filled with intimacy and passion. Shortly after that, the legendary Mercy finds himself in solitary confinement. Pinwheel has sent all his armed men to capture Colt and Cash. Mercy tells the duo about their escape plan and directs them to their escort. Upon reaching the designated location, they meet their escort and inform him that Mercy sent them. However, it turns out that their escort is under Daniel's influence. Unaware of the impending danger, they trust him. Before they can be escorted, Colt must engage in a fight, and his opponent turns out to be Daniel. Initially, Colt gains the upper hand and severely injures Daniel. However, Pinwheel's men arrive to capture the fugitives. After a brief pause, the fight continues, escalating in brutality and bloodshed. In the final confrontation, Daniel acknowledges his inability to surpass Colt's skills and resorts to cheating by using a ring equipped with a blade. He repeatedly strikes Colt, inflicting serious wounds. Cash considers intervening but receives a warning from the escort that she could disqualify Colt. She hesitates, but Colt then grabs Daniel's weaponized hand and forces it into a ventilator. Daniel's body weight leads to his beheading by the ventilator. Colt emerges victorious, having defeated his opponent. Shortly after, armed men from Pinwheel cause chaos. Colt and Cash escape, taking down several men during their escape. However, they eventually find themselves outnumbered. Despite the dire situation, Cash defiantly aims a rifle at their pursuers. Just as they prepare to surrender, a screen descends from one of the vehicles, revealing Mercy. He congratulates the pair and cautions the Pinwheel men about an imminent bomb. The bomb detonates, creating chaos among the armed group. Mercy then emerges and starts firing, effortlessly eliminating most of the men. In the meantime, Cash and Colt manage to escape while the remaining members of the Pinwheel capture Mercy and bring him to their headquarters. There, Dr. Dunn, engaged in a game of golf, informs Mercy that he still possesses the button to activate the explosive implanted in Cash's body. However, Mercy has ingeniously reversed the system. When Dr. Dunn presses the button, he inadvertently creates an explosion that obliterates the Pinwheel institution. The scene then moves forward in time. Cash and Colt have found tranquility living in a remote desert. The story concludes with a leap into the future, showing Colt's age. At the same time, Cash remains eternally youthful and beautiful, a testament to her cyborg nature. Then the movie ends.